Hey everybody, it is Adam Summers and welcome back to video number 4. I know I took a little bit of a break last week with video number 3 and giving you that awesome property tour for the listing we have in Mayberry Park Estates. I hope you guys loved it. It was a lot of fun to film and a lot of fun to edit. So jumping back into the information this week, I had a really good friend of mine, Emily, reach out to me and give a really good suggestion for a video topic this week. We're gonna talk about how do I know when I'm ready to buy a home? I know the video topics are going backwards with every new video that we make, where first we talked about what to look at when you're looking at a home, then we did 3 ways to get ready for the home buying process, and now we're going back even further and saying, how do I know when I'm ready to buy? So staying in trend with my other videos, I'm narrowing it down to 3 things. Thing number 1, most people are really unsure about their financial situation. I don't know if I can afford to buy a home. I know I'm supposed to have 20% down. How can I afford this? What are property taxes? What are mortgage points? All of these things are things you can talk about with your mortgage lender. Mortgage lenders are great for more than just getting pre-approved and getting your mortgage finalized. They are actually great coaches too, to help get you ready for the buying process months or even a year or more in advance. So they're gonna tell you how much money you have to have saved up, how much income you need to be making, what credit score you need to have, and what loan options are available to you, which, by the way, if you are a first-time home buyer, there are some really cool first-time buyer options. When my wife and I bought our home, we actually got it as low as 3% down. So talk to a lender. Number 1, they will tell you financially what you can afford and what you need to do to be able to get that house you can afford months or even a year or so down the line. Thing number 2, do I get a starter home or do I buy up and get my forever home right away? That's a bit more of a loaded question because that's gonna depend on a lot of factors that have to do with how long are you going to be in the area? How old are you? What's the size of your family? Are you planning on ever making a career change in the future? There are so many factors that go into whether you should buy a starter home first or whether you should do that and then move up. Definitely talk to your realtor about that so they can weigh your individual situation. So personal example, my wife and I started off with a starter home. We bought a very small house in an area we wanted to be in and created a 5-year plan because we knew prices were going up. We could live comfortably because it was a smaller mortgage payment and be happy and save up for that next home that we want to buy. Some people, on the other hand, maybe they want to go build their forever home. Maybe they are already married, they have a kid, whatever it is, they plan on being in the same area for 25 years and they don't want to think about it. Maybe waiting a little bit and saving up for that next home or the forever home is the right decision for you. There's a lot of life, financial, and career factors that go into that decision. So talk with your realtor, see what works best for you, and come up with a game plan. So we've talked about making sure your financial situation is good. We have talked about whether you should get a starter home or your forever home first. Now, what about the market? Shouldn't I consider the market when I'm buying a home? Isn't buying a home the biggest investment that I'm gonna make and the biggest asset I'm gonna have? If you're buying something long-term, I would say really don't worry about the market all that much. You're gonna be somewhere a long time, and just like with any long-term investment, even though markets go up and they go down, over the long term, they tend to hold their value and go up at the rate of inflation. For example, the housing market has actually gone up on average about 3.8% over time. And I know even just in the past 20 years, we had this giant market crash in 2008, prices have gone back up. People are worried that maybe prices are even too high now, but if you look at what the average 3.8% rate is, even with that dip, we are still right in line and on track with inflation. So when you're buying long-term, I would say, honestly, don't worry about it. Maybe actually lock in that good mortgage rate more than anything because you're gonna carry that with you regardless of what home prices are doing. Now, what if you're buying in the short term? We don't have a crystal ball. We have economic forecasts, we have the housing market forecasts. I mean, I can tell you that in 2021, housing prices are supposed to go up again. But with that being said, if 2020 taught us anything, it's that anything can happen. Luckily, the housing market survived and thrived during 2020, but maybe that won't be the case next time. So if you're gonna buy something short term, even if the forecast looks sunny, I would plan for it to go down just in case. And protect yourself by doing a couple things. One of the first things that you should do is not buy at the top of your budget. If you're planning on buying small and moving up, the best thing for you to do is buy something that is really comfortable or well below your means, so that way you can save up a little bit of money on the side. And if the market does take a dip, 1, you aren't hurt as bad by that loss, and 2, you've been saving money anyways. So it's gonna have a little bit of a buffer. Thing number 2, buy in an area where properties tend to hold their value a little bit more. And why that is important is one, maybe that dip won't hurt you as bad, but two, you could make it an investment property. You're already living somewhere that's below your means. Ideally, you bought something smaller. And if you're in a good area, it's probably a property that's pretty easy to rent out. And at this point, you've been living below your means, you have an investment property, you've been saving money, and if the market takes a dip, you're in a great position to be able to buy that next home at a little bit of a cheaper price. Of course, the ideal situation is that the market continues to go up, you make a big profit on your first house, you can pocket that money and use it to go towards your forever home and your dream home. But like I said, plan just in case and think of those factors when you're gonna do the buy small and move up. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I think next time I'm gonna cover renting versus buying because I realized as I was doing this that I could probably even start the buying process out further back and go over whether you are in a good position to rent or whether you are in a good position to buy. And I know this is probably not a popular opinion with a lot of realtors, but there are some situations where renting is the right decision. And so I wanna cover when you should do either one. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great week. Bye.